The storm rolled in long before the clouds ever touched the sky. It began the moment word spread through the city's underbelly that Maya, the quiet, soft-spoken woman who carried light into even the darkest corners of the Hell Angels compound, had been taken. One reckless dealer, desperate for power he didn't deserve, thought he could break the spirit of the most feared motorcycle brotherhood by stealing its heart. But what he didn't know, what he couldn't have known, was that her disappearance would ignite a war, expose buried truths, and transform the man everyone feared the most. Before we ride deeper into this emotional journey, if you believe in kindness, forgiveness, and second chances, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps stories like this alive. The Hell Angels had never been saints, but they lived by their own rules: loyalty, protection, and silence. Their leader, Cole Maddox, was a towering figure carved from scars and storms, known for a stare sharp enough to cut bone. People whispered about the things he'd done, the men he'd buried, the blood he'd shed on the road to becoming king of the asphalt. But only a few knew the truth. Beneath the leather, the tattoos, and the hardened jaw was a man whose world softened the day Maya walked into it. Maya was everything he wasn't: gentle in a world built on violence, hopeful in a place forged from loss. She never asked Cole to leave the life. She simply reminded him that there was a world outside of it. And slowly he began thinking about stepping into that world with her, until she vanished. The kidnapping wasn't clean. Cole found the abandoned warehouse where they said she'd been seen, the same warehouse where one of his men had been tortured, left barely breathing but alive enough to warn them about the dealer responsible. The scene painted a nightmare: blood on the concrete, chains still swaying, and Maya's necklace, silver, delicate, and shaped like a feather, lying in the dirt. When Cole picked it up, he didn't rage, he didn't scream. He simply closed his fist around it, and the world around him seemed to stop. Everyone who stood with him felt it: the temperature drop, the silence sharpen. A storm was coming. Cole's brothers wanted war. They wanted vengeance, fire, broken bones, and blood spilled in Maya's name. But Cole didn't want destruction. He wanted her. He wanted the one person who made him feel human in a world that insisted on making him a monster. They tracked the dealer across abandoned mills, back alley drug dens, and forgotten train yards. Every lead ended in violence. Every liar ended on their knees. Every whisper guided them closer. And with every step, Cole slipped deeper into a dangerous place, the space between love and madness. Meanwhile, Maya fought silently for her life. She'd been taken by Diego, an arrogant small-time dealer who believed kidnapping her would force Cole to surrender territory. But he underestimated the woman he'd stolen. She endured pain, fear, and moments where hope felt like a dying candle. Yet every time she trembled, she remembered Cole's arms wrapped around her, the warmth of his chest, the way he always said, "You're the only good thing in my world." That memory kept her alive. The night Cole finally found Diego's stronghold, rain hammered the metal roof like war drums. The angels rode in, engines roaring like thunder gods, faces masked with fury. But Cole walked ahead of them, unarmed except for the weight of all the emotions that had been tearing him apart since the day Maya disappeared. He didn't need weapons. He was one. Inside, the scene was brutal. Maya, bruised, bleeding, bound to a chair, lifted her head just as Cole stepped into the dim light. The moment their eyes met, something broke inside them both. She saw the shadows beneath his skin, the torment of days spent fearing she'd never open her eyes again. He saw her strength, her courage, the unspoken message that she held on because she believed he would come. But Diego wasn't done. He lunged at Cole with a rusted blade, wild and desperate. Cole didn't hesitate. In one swift motion fueled by fear, rage, and love, he dropped Diego to the floor. The fight was short. The silence afterward was long. Cole fell to his knees in front of Maya, his hands trembling as he untied the ropes cutting into her bruised skin. When she collapsed into his arms, he didn't feel victory. He felt the fragility of everything he had almost lost. As he carried her out into the rain, the rest of the Hell Angels formed a protective circle around them. Guns lowered, heads bowed, even warriors recognized holy moments. Back at the compound, days passed slowly. Cole barely left Maya's side, and in that quiet room, filled with the scent of antiseptic and lingering fear, something inside him shifted. He realized he couldn't keep living halfway between the man he used to be and the man Maya wanted him to become. He couldn't keep dragging her into battles she never asked for. When she finally woke fully, her voice was a whisper against his cheek. She told him she didn't want him to leave his brothers, his history, his world. She just wanted him to choose life over violence, love over vengeance, future over fear. And for the first time in years, Cole listened, not with the ears of a leader, but with the heart of a man who had been pulled out of hell by a woman with soft hands. The hell angels didn't break apart, but things changed because of Maya. Cole started negotiating instead of destroying. The club began focusing on protection rather than retaliation. The city's streets felt different, less haunted, more hopeful. And every member knew why, because someone had reminded their leader that even the fiercest men have something worth protecting. Sometimes the toughest transformations come from the deepest pain. What happened to Maya should have broken her, should have broken Cole, should have broken the entire brotherhood. Instead, it built something stronger, something rooted in loyalty, healing, and the simple power of love surviving the ugliest of storms. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your engagement helps keep emotional stories like these alive on the channel. Before we end, here's a special request. Comment below what moment in the story hit you the hardest. Because sometimes, sharing the moment that moved you helps someone else feel a little less alone.